Welcome to Knowtheodds podcast Grid Money. Hey everyone, welcome to Grid Money. I'm Mason Poole. This is going to be your location for anything related to football, but specifically anything that you're putting money down, whether it's fantasy, daily, or seasonal, or sports betting. We're going to cover it all here. Sports betting in particular is very interesting to me right now. Ever since last year's New Jersey Supreme Court case, it has been open season on legalizing sports betting in every single state. It's a state's issue now. So every single state has some type of legislation in place to get some type of legalization on sports betting. All except one that I can think of at least. And it makes sense. There was billions of dollars brought in illegally on sports bets last year. So it only makes sense that governments are trying to legalize it so they can make taxes on it and get income off of that. That's the real reasoning behind it. I don't really mind. While it's legal and easy to do, we might as well be making the best bets possible and most informed bets that we can make. If it's something that's available to us, why not get in on some of that action? And that's what this whole podcast and Knowtheodds.net is for. It's just to keep you informed and making the best possible bets for the scenario that you're in. Now, I'm going to make a bold statement here. You ready? Betting on sports is far better than betting on the stock market. Now, notice I said betting on the stock market. If you want to call buying a stock an investment, then you also have to call sports betting an investment as well. They're one and the same, and I'll explain all my reasoning for these bold, brash statements here in just a second. First of all, I'm not trying to convince you to not invest in the stock market. I depend on the stock market and a 401k and many other markets and indices for my retirement and future goals. My goal here is to change the way that we think about sports betting. And I think that's important, being that it's going to be illegal and more of a part of our lives here in the near future. But that's all it is. That's all I'm trying to do here, is change the way we think about it. Here's how I back that up. First of all, when you look at the stock market or foreign exchange currencies or Bitcoin, Dogecoin, whatever you're considering investing in or already are invested in, there's only two outcomes possible. Those two outcomes are yay and nay. It's either going to go up, go down. It's either going to do good or do poorly. You're either going to see a return or you're not. On that front, sports betting is the exact same way. Either you're going to cover, you're not. Either you're going to beat the spread or you're not. Your team is going to win or they're not. There's only two outcomes when it comes to this. More on that in just a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about data. Data runs every decision that you make, whether you realize it or not. And every single decision you make, from the shoes that you put on in the morning to what you eat for lunch to what stock you put into your 401k, every single decision is based off of data. Every single decision is based off of the data that is available to you related to that decision, as it should be. All decisions that you make should be informed by data. The stock market, since that's what we're comparing to right now, stock market has a lot of data when it comes to the companies, the spreadsheet, performance sheets, charts on the stock. There's a lot of data that is considered into the investment decisions. As much information as there is available on stock markets and any other markets out there, there is more data when it comes to the world of sports. There are multiple databases dedicated to just a single team or sport or single player even. And right now, That data is available for just hobbyists and for sportscasters to be able to give you their prediction on who's going to win the big game, or so that you can have the edge on your buddies on the work fantasy league. That information is going to grow exponentially as sports betting becomes more and more of a factor, and as more and more money goes to it, that information is going to become more specific, and it's going to grow in abundance. So right there, you have so much more information to base a decision on who's going to win a sporting game than you do on any stock or investment that you're considering getting into. So sports betting has the leg up on the stock market right there. Let's go on to talk about risk. Investments, you'll hear the term high risk, high reward. Risk is a part of any investment or bet. Let's have an example of investing in a stock company. Let's say you have $100. Your goal, let's say, is to make 5%. It should be $5. Your goal would be to make 5%, usually within a year. You're going to take that $100, do your research, put it into the stock of your choosing. Now, there's a whole range. It can only go up or down, but there's a whole range of how much it could do. In the realm of things that are less likely to happen, at the very bottom, you have becoming wealthy off of that stock. It does happen. It doesn't happen very often. A little bit above that, a little more likely, is that you will lose all of that stock. Stock markets crash all the time. Single stocks crash all the time. Again, it's in the realm of things that are less likely to happen, but it's more like you're more likely to lose it than you are to make a fortune. In the realm of things that are more likely to happen, I'd say it's about even whether you're going to gain or lose. Anybody who tells you that something, and this goes for sports betting as well, anybody that tells you that they have a sure thing, a rigged bet, they got the next Amazon stock coming up, get in on it now because it's going to go up. There is no way to, with 100% accuracy, predict anything that is going to happen in the future. There are no sure things when it comes to life in general. So to say that you've got a for sure win when it comes to a stock is just fooling yourself. Let's compare that to how it works in sports betting. Let's say the same goal. You have $100. Your goal is to make 5%. So here's what you do. You do your research. You find the team or the bet that you want to make. You don't throw the whole $100 into that one bet. You don't need to. If your goal is only 5%, you only need to throw $5 into that bet. Once it's in, literally one of two things could happen. Either you lose the 5%, or depending on what bet you're making, usually it's very rare that there's even odds bets out there. And there's whole strategies. We'll dedicate entire episodes to strategies. But if you're making good underdog bets, you're going to be making $5+ if you win that bet. And that's on a daily, sometimes multi-daily basis. The ability to speed up your returns compared to the stock market is not even comparable. After that bet is complete, you're going to have a new total, 100 plus or $95. You're going to have a new goal. 5% of that new amount is going to be a different sized bet. Again, we'll have entire episodes dedicated to strategy, bankroll, what kind of bets you should be making and shouldn't be making. What are the sucker bets and what are the smart bets? And I'm looking forward to going through this whole process and covering latest sports betting news, fantasy news, just keeping you guys in the loop as to what's happening out there this football season. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast. So I hope you're coming along for the ride. Again, I want to emphasize this. I'm not trying to get you to not invest in the stock market. Sports betting should only be with money that you can afford to lose. I'm just trying to get you to change our perspective on what sports betting is and how it should be handled. Both should be approached with a level head and clear thinking. And that way you'll be sure to minimize losses in any field that you go into. But the goal here is to donate as the least amount possible to the bookie casino. All right, so if we can accomplish that at the end of the day, then that's a mission accomplished in my book. Hey, I'm Mason Poole. This has been an excerpt from our Know the Odds podcast, Grid Money. Go check us out at knowtheodds.net and stay informed. Good luck out there, guys.